All right, where are all my Americans who've been saying immigrants are stealing our jobs? Well, guess what? Now's your big moment. The jobs are open, folks, wide open. We need people in the fields to pick fruit, harvest vegetables, and keep our food supply moving. This is no joke. Farmers across the country are looking for hardworking people to step up. Long hours, the hot sun beating down on you, and good old fashioned hard work. You said you wanted these jobs, right? Well, here they are. No one's in your way now. So if you've been sitting at home saying, oh, those immigrants are taking all the opportunities, guess what? The opportunity is knocking at your door. All you've got to do is answer. Lace up your boots, roll up your sleeves, and show us what you've got. Applications are open and the fields are waiting. This is your time to shine. Or maybe, just maybe, you weren't really serious about wanting those jobs. What's it going to be? Talk or action? The farms are calling. Don't keep them waiting. We are open. 24/7 for applications, and don't worry, we need a lot of people.
Hey y'all, listen, those of you asking me how much Nebraska is paying in terms of farm workers, Nebraska pays between $13 and $18 an hour starting out. So if you're coming here to work on the farms, and I get what you guys are saying, you want the MAGA people to be in the front of the line to show up and work these farms. But I want you to know this situation is serious because Nebraska is one of the top meat producers in the country. So if you want to keep eating them leaves and filet mignon and New York steak and so on and so forth, somebody got to work these farms. They're not going to work themselves, is all I'm saying. Look here, MAGA people, y'all show up. People saying y'all need to be in the front line and show up and work these Nebraska farms before this state goes bankrupt. That's what I'm saying.
Welcome back to Peace of Mind, everyone. Mass deportation has been taking a toll on agriculture in the U.S. We're going to be watching and reacting to commentators today.
How much do you want to bet that the people being rounded up for deportation right now don't make it to their country of deportation? And in a couple of years, we find out that they were actually gathered together, put into different kinds of detention centers, and then made to work on the farms. And we were okay with it because it meant that our food costs decreased and the farmers had more profits, so the GDP increased. How much do you want to bet?
The issue is thousands of small family-owned farms are being bought out by private equity firm. They're the one pushing for this legislation because they can now have full control of labor free of charge because what immigrants are being pushed to a status of being criminals. As criminals, we don't have any rights. You just get to work and you don't have to pay them whatsoever. So they're the one benefiting from this.
Solamente lo están pagando $2 con 20 centavos.
$2.20. That's how much that man said they're paying them to pack, not the clear pints of strawberries, but that whole crate. That whole crate he's getting paid $2.20 to pack. At Aldi this week, I think I paid $3.29 for my 1 pint of strawberries. So there's 2 points that I want to make and that I don't understand. The first point, and the most obvious in my opinion, is people who are supporting these mass deportations, even if people who are over here with the right paperwork, do you not see the personal impact it's going to make? Do you think your strawberries are going to be under $10 going forward with people who aren't going to accept that wage picking them? No. And my second point is that man is literally living out the American dream. You come over here, you get a shitty job to make a better life for your future generations. And I have a lot of theories or ideas that contribute to why people think that this man picking strawberries for $2.20 a crate think it's not right. I think Americans have a very individualistic mindset. They don't see community. All they see is themselves. And in that idea or in that approach to life, in the long run, you're actually hurting yourself because, again, my strawberries probably aren't going to be $3.29 in the next few weeks. And if anyone needs any sort of proof that these from the ground up stories are beneficial to American society as a whole, I think my family is a good example. My grandparents came over here illegally. My grandfather helped build sewers, broke his back, no insurance. My grandmother, some of the worst arthritis I've ever seen, Her hands were like this. Sewed jeans in a Levi factory. And do you know what those sacrifices resulted in? They had 2 kids that went to MIT. They have another child who is one of the leading minds in physics. They have other children who have successfully gone on to be in the medical field and in construction. And I'm also a direct result of that. You know, I bought my house by myself. I'm doing really well by myself. And I'm going to be able to build even more generational wealth going forward because of the sacrifices my grandparents made. And I can guarantee that man picking strawberries just wants a similar story.
Hey there, it's day 34 and this is Juju. And today I'd like to talk about farm workers. So here I'm in Watsonville on my way to Soledad Prison to do empathy in action. And you can see in the distance here, the farm workers hard at work here in the field. I guess I can't get that. But I just want to talk about the support, the way that the media and certain people in our government are talking about immigrants, and particularly from, Mexico, Hispanic, immigrants. And these are some of the most hard-working people. This is back-breaking work. I've gone to a farm workers tour. There's a wonderful nonprofit called Farm Workers Family, farm worker families. And I've gone on one of their farm workers tours and seen what it's like to have to try to pick strawberries, the conditions that they live in. Our immigration system is broken, absolutely. But we need to give this, because right now these people are working under slave conditions, always afraid to that they're, the threat of being undocumented in this country. And so this is the agricultural area, and everyone is like, if you want to try deporting people, who do you think is going to come out here and do this backbreaking work? So I just want to say how important immigrants and farm workers are certainly to this area of California, and I send them my love and respect. And again, check out the Center for Farm Workers Family. It's a wonderful organization. So this is Juju, unscripted, unedited, unfiltered, coming from the fields of Watsonville, and lead with love.
To all of the people in the U.S. who think that immigrants are destroying the economy because they're mooching off the system, I just want to let you know, if immigrants wanted to ruin the U.S. economy, all they would have to do is stop participating in it. If you want to destroy the U.S. economy, all the immigrants would go back to their home countries. Stop doing our cheap labor, like agriculture work and manufacturing and construction, janitorial services, cleaning services, all the shit these Americans here are usually too proud and fucking stubborn to goddamn do. So every time you're afraid of an immigrant, just know that if they wanted to, they would. And they haven't yet. So they're not the ones you need to worry about.
44% of farm workers in the United States today do not have green cards and are working illegally. More than 50% of the farm workers in New York State are working illegally. United States farms contribute over $1 trillion to the U.S. economy. You want to know the fastest way to a recession and everybody eating canned tuna and Chips Ahoy cookies? Deport all the undocumented immigrants, including half the farm workers in the United States.
So for all the farmers that live in Nebraska, you voted for Trump knowing that 70% of your workforce on your farms are migrants. Now, apparently, Nebraska is 6 months away from bankruptcy. Still voted for the mass deportation of 70% of your workforce on your farms, and now are complaining that your farms and your livelihood will not survive it.
I just got back from the farmer's market. I buy my produce at a farmer's market so I can get it directly from the farms themselves. The produce tastes way better, it's cheaper, and it's easier to access quality food. So I just went to this stand that sells vegetables that's from the Central Valley, and I get a lot of my produce from them every single Sunday. And I asked them, hey, did the ice raids affect you guys? Are you guys okay? And the woman looked at me, and it took her a minute to respond, and she said, almost all of our produce went bad because there was no one to pick any of it. And I live in this area where everybody's in support of it. Everybody's in support of deporting immigrants. And I'm just so tired of spending my whole life feeling so out of place and so misunderstood because I care about things that actually matter and nobody around me gets it.
This is breaking news. Texas farmers are sounding the alarm on this tariff war. And in more breaking news, nobody cares. Yeah, I don't know if it's just me or maybe it's some of you too, but as far as farmers sounding the alarm, I don't care. I have to admit, I don't care at all, because the last time Donald Trump was president, 100,000 farmers across the country lost their farms. Yeah. So overwhelmingly, farmers voted for this man again, knowing full well of his history the last time he was president. So, from me to you, farmers, I don't care. I don't care how bad things get for you. I don't care if you lose your farm. I don't care if you... I don't care. At least I don't care to hear about it. I really don't. Because this is exactly what you voted for. And you're going to get what you voted for. You're going to get 4 more years of Donald Trump not giving a damn about farmers whatsoever. So, enjoy.
Bro, I just spent $8 on a damn tomato. A tomato. Why the hell is food so expensive now? Well, let's see. Farms don't have workers, crops aren't getting picked, supply is down, and prices go up. What do you mean farms don't have workers? I mean, 70% of farm workers were foreign-born, a huge chunk undocumented. And now? They're gone. Either deported or too scared to show up. Well, maybe if they came here legally. Yeah? And how do they do that, Randy? Do you know how long it takes? A few months? Try years. Even farm worker visas have massive backlogs, and that's even if they qualify. Meanwhile, farmers needed those workers yesterday. Why didn't Biden fix it? You're joking, right? Biden tried to speed it up so more workers could come in the right way, but people freaked out, so Donnie Doofus scrapped it. So what, now we're just out of food? Not out, just more expensive. Farms can't harvest without workers, so crops rot in the fields, supply drops, and prices spike. And that's before you even factor in transportation costs. Can't they just hire Americans? Yeah, for about triple the pay, which means that tomato would have cost you $15 instead of $8. What about machines? Can't we just automate it? Randy, those machines are millions of dollars each. Plus, you think a machine can gently pick a ripe strawberry without crushing it? This is insane. So what's the plan? There isn't one. Just higher grocery bills, fewer farms staying open, and maybe in a few years, imported food costing even more. So you're saying I should have bought a greenhouse? No, Randy. I'm saying you should have voted like you actually live in this country.